Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 19, entitled The Appearance of Shukadeva Goswami. Text number 17. Tisma Rajadhyavasaya Yuktaha Prachina Muleshu Kusheshu Dhiraha Udanmukho Dakshina Kula Aste Samudra Patnya Swasutanyasta Bharaha. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Charanarvind Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. In perfect self-control, Maharaja Parikshit sat down on a seat of straw with straw roots facing the east, placed on the southern bank of the Ganges, and he himself faced the north. Just previously he had given charge of his kingdom over to his son. Purport. The river Ganges is celebrated as the wife of the sea. The seat of Kusha, straw, is considered to be sanctified if the straw is taken out of the earth, complete with root. And if the root is pointed toward the east, it is considered to be auspicious. Facing the north is still more favorable for attaining spiritual success. Maharaja Parikshit handed over the charge of administration to his son before leaving home. He was thus fully equipped for all favorable conditions. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport and translation to Canto 1, Chapter 19, Text 17 of Srimad Bhagavatam. So, Shukadeva Goswami is explaining the mindset of Parikshit Maharaj just before he is about to quit this world, give up his body. What was his state of mind? How was he situated? It's very nicely described here. Interesting to note, Shukadeva Goswami has used the word Dhiraha in describing Parikshit Maharaj. And it is significant in this context because he is about to die. Parikshit Maharaj was cursed by a young Brahmin boy to die within 7 days. And the moment he heard this curse, although he was competent to counteract the curse, he didn't take any steps to counteract the curse or nullify the curse. Rather, he prepared himself to leave this world and fulfill the curse of the Brahmana, because Brahmana's words should not go wrong. There's a Vedic statement like that. Brahmana's words should not go wrong. So to uphold the Brahmana's words, Parikshit Maharaj bowed down, although being a great king. He's been described here as Raja. He's an emperor actually. So it's very powerful. But he bowed down to the words of the Brahmana, although they were very inauspicious, apparently, because he is cursed to death in 7 days of time. But Parikshit Maharaj, Dhiraha, is being described here as self-controlled. That means he was not agitated, not disturbed, didn't get stuck in a panicky situation. But he knows he's going to die in 7 days. Self-controlled Dhiraha is making preparations for death. How? That's been described here in this verse. Iti means thus. So what is the preparation he made? Raja Adyavasaya Yuktaha. The king, Adyavasaya means perseverance. It's connected to the word Dhiraha. Because he is very clear about his goal. He is fixed in Krishna consciousness. Just persevering Krishna consciousness to the end. You may begin with all enthusiasm, Krishna consciousness, but then you may not be able to continue with the same enthusiasm and determination and perseverance. But here we see Parishit Maharaj has been described here as Adyavasaya Yuktaha. With perseverance he is engaged. Dhiraha, he is self-controlled. So that is needed. One has to be fixed up in Krishna consciousness. One has to persevere Krishna consciousness. Beginning is great, good, but one has to continue Krishna consciousness, and that is the success. How long can you continue your Krishna consciousness is the success measure. Then there are other measures and tests also. How long you can continue is the base level. Then how enthusiastically you can continue, how determinedly you can continue, and how you can keep increasing and expanding your Krishna consciousness. And this gives a status report of yourself, of your own Krishna consciousness. And dhiraha, how much you are fixed up and focused in Krishna consciousness without getting agitated by any material situations or conditions of one's life. This material world, there is always auspicious situation, followed by inauspicious situation, followed by auspicious situation, followed by inauspicious situation. That's how the pattern of this material world is. There's nothing like always you are in a very good situation, nothing like always you are in a very detrimental or a dangerous situation. They keep coming one after the other. Agama apayana anityaha. Krishna describes in the second chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. These good and bad situations keep coming one after the other. But dhiraha and adyavasaya yuktaha, one should be fixed up in Krishna consciousness irrespective of the material situations and material oscillations. So, what did Parikshit Maharaj do here? Prachina muleshu kusheshu. So he sat down on a seat of straw. It's called kusha grass. Kusheshu. Kusha grass. Prachina. And he placed this kusha grass muleshu prachina, making the roots of the kusha grass point towards the prachina, eastern direction. Prabhupada says, when the kusha grass is taken out with the root, muleshu kusheshu, that's why it is used. This kusha grass itself is considered sanctified. If the straw is taken out of the earth with complete root, muleshu. If you take the kusha grass with the root, it is considered auspicious. It will be very sanctified. So, prachina muleshu kusheshu. So, he placed the kusha grass. Where did he place? Dakshina kula. He placed the kusha grass on the southern point, but its roots facing the eastern direction. And udan mukaha, he himself, mukaha, his face, udan or udak, meaning northern direction. His face was facing towards the north, the kusha grass is placed on the south, and its roots are pointing towards the east to bring about or invoke or attract auspiciousness. That root is taken with the root. Already it has become sanctified because of having been taken with the root and further pointing towards the east, and further his face pointing or facing towards the north. Already the material arrangements, material configuration, he has made everything favorable for his passing away. You can make material arrangements favorable for your passing away. You can also make spiritual arrangements favorable for your passing away. These are material arrangements. And where did all this happen? Aste Samudra Patnyaha. The wife of the sea is considered to be the river, Samudra Patni. Parikshit Maharaj was in Hastinapur, which is New Delhi is part of Hastinapur. The present day New Delhi is part of Hastinapur. Hastinapur was a much bigger metro in those days, where the world capital was situated in Hastinapura. And Parikshit Maharaj was the emperor, not a king, emperor. He was the king of all the kings. He was ruling the entire earth planet with Hastinapura, or the modern day, you can say roughly modern day New Delhi, as the world capital. So Parikshit Maharaj was actually a global president actually. So these titles were all very old, nothing is new. He's a global president, global emperor actually. So he himself, Udan Mukhaha, was facing the north. Because facing north makes it more favorable for spiritual success. Actually, every direction has got a particular purpose. So if you sit facing the north, brings in spiritual success. Like that, every direction has got a purpose. One more direction will bring in intelligence, the eastern direction. Then there is one more direction, west and south. One brings wealth. It attracts wealth. Like that. So Parikshit Maharaj took advantage of all these possibilities. And Swasuta Nyasta Bharaha. But he didn't irresponsibly relinquish his duties and went ahead for his spiritual destination or emancipation. He didn't relinquish his duties whimsically or irresponsibly. Here it is described, Swasuta Nyasta Bharaha. Nyasta means to give over, Swasuta to his own son. So Parikshit Maharaj called his son, and Bharaha, he gave the charge of administration to his son and advised him appropriately, and then he left to the bank of the Ganges to prepare himself for death, the impending death. So the kings were very responsible and very concerned about the people's welfare. But to set an example, because ultimately liberation from this material bondage is the goal of human life, the very purpose of human birth. How to disentangle oneself from the bonds of karma or the repeated cycle of birth and death is the very purpose of human birth. And that has to be achieved by all means, at least at the end of one's life. So great kings, great devotees like Parikshit Maharaj have set the highest standard, an ideal example in showing the common man as to what one should do from the beginning of one's life, even if one misses it out, at least to the end of one's human life. Otherwise, parabhavas tavat abodha jata yavat na jignasata yata atma tattvam. So Rishabhadev describes, if one does not even inquire about the self or the spirit soul and what the human being must do in this human form of life, what the individual must do in this human form of life, one does not even inquire about this subject matter, parabhavaha, his life is considered to be a defeat. Defeat is not, loss is not when you lose something in your business or in your career or in a game. The real loss is to lose this human form of life, which is very rarely attained. Very rarely attained. Durlabham manusham janma tadapi adruvam arthadham. So Prahlad Maharaj says, adruvam, very rarely attained. But arthadham, it is very meaningful, very purposeful. But you should know how to utilize it. This asset called this human body, you should know how to utilize it. If you don't know, it is waste. Even if you have a human body, the best of the bodies, even demigod's body, Indra's body, Brahma's body, the best intelligent body, the healthiest body, everything you may have, best memory, what is the use if you don't use? Like our Acharya Prabhupada always made this statement. Suppose you have a Rolls Royce at your home or villa, parked in the garage, but you have never used it. What is the use of having a Rolls Royce? You may have a false pride of having a Rolls Royce, but you never used it. You never enjoyed the jolly ride from a Rolls Royce. So it is useless. Similarly, this human body can afford us to cross over this ocean of repeated cycle of birth and death. But if you don't utilize this for that purpose, it is waste. So, the kings and the emperors of those days, they were very conscious and very responsible kings. Even though they were alert in their administration as far as their profession is concerned, they were also alert equally in the matter of spiritual advancement, liberation from this material body. Because yadyad acharati shreshtaha tattad evetaro janaha. Lord Krishna describes that the common man follows great leaders. It is natural. Therefore, he has to set the right standards by his personal example. Common men just follow great people. Even today it is true. It is always true. So therefore they were very conscious of their behavior, of what standards they are setting, what culture they are setting. Very conscious. So here we see Parikshit Maharaj took advantage of all the favorable conditions, as Prabhupada says here. Parikshit Maharaj was fully equipped with all favorable conditions. Kusha grass with root, placed in the southern direction. Placement also is very important. And the direction is also very important. The roots facing the east and he himself facing the north. And he sat in meditation upon Krishna. So thus, and that too on the bank of the Ganges, which itself, the very vision of Ganges, not even the touch of Ganges, the very sight of Ganges is purifying. The very remembrance of Ganges is purifying. What do you speak of being by the banks of the Ganges? Aste, Samudra Patnya. So favorable situations. And over and above all is the thought of Krishna, which he was taught by his guru, Shukadeva Goswami. It's the pinnacle or the consolidation of all favorable conditions or auspiciousness. As in the first chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, Jayastu Pandu Putranam Yesham Pakshe Janardana, Prabhupada quotes. There are so many symptoms, indications were there for Arjuna for victory. Even before the battle began. Arjuna's chariot was marked with Hanuman. And Hanuman never fails. He's always victorious. And the chariot was given by Agni, which Arjuna was driving. And it is said that this chariot had a blessing that wherever it is driven in all the three worlds, it will never face defeat. If Duryodhana would have sat, 100% he would have become victorious over Arjuna. But that chariot came to Arjun, not Duryodhana. Right things go to the right hands. Wrong things go to the wrong hands. There's a universal configuration. All that will get adjusted. You don't have control over these configurations. Who will land up where? What will land up to whom? We don't have control over these things. Then, Madhava, as the very word indicates, Sanjaya has used the word Madhava to describe Krishna. Because Madhava means the husband of the goddess of fortune. Ma means Lakshmi. So Madhava refers to husband of Lakshmi. And who is that? Lord Krishna. Narayana. Krishna, the original Narayana. So it is referring to Krishna. Madhava is Krishna's name. The husband of the goddess of fortune. Not fortune. Goddess of fortune. Deity of fortune. And Krishna is a husband. You can just imagine. And that Krishna is driving Arjuna's chariot personally, voluntarily. And as a icing on the cake or cherry on the cake, Krishna also was the strategizer for Arjuna. Any company flourishes by strategies. So we have CEOs, we have directors in a company, so they give strategies. They don't work, they give strategies, which decides the fate of the company. Yeah. So Krishna, who can be a greater strategist than Krishna? No doubt Arjuna also is very expert. Imagine then two experts combined becomes expert square or expert to the power of n actually. So two experts, the world top archer, recognized by Dronacharya himself, and Krishna himself is there to give the best counsel for Arjuna. Where the question of Arjuna losing the battle? Duryodhana didn't have this sense. So what I'm trying to say here is, how even for Arjuna, all favorable conditions were set well ahead for his victory. He is just awaiting victory. Just Kala is separating. Simply has to sit in the chariot every day, naam ke vaste. Go for a round, come back. Go for a round, come back 18 days. Katham, take your victory and go. Doesn't have to do much. Same thing. You can see many instances is there throughout the history of the world. How devotees are always in an auspicious situation, in a favorable condition, irrespective of the material conditions which the three modes provide for. The devotee is never untouched by any material conditions. Padma Patram Ivam Basa. The Bhagavad Gita, Krishna has described the position of a devotee as Padma Patram Ivam Basa. A devotee's position is like the lotus upon whose leaf water does not stay, or a lotus untouched by water. So devotee is untouched by anything material. Asangoyam Purushaha. In the Vedas it is described about the position of a devotee, actually a spirit soul. And what do you speak of a devotee? The soul by its very constitution, by its intrinsic nature, Asangaha, Ayam Purushaha. Purushaha here refers to the soul. Any soul, Asanga, Ayam. He has no contact with this material world, with this material atmosphere. He doesn't come in contact. Never. Like water and oil never mix. How much ever you stir it, it will never mix. Similarly, the soul and material nature never mix. What to speak of a devotee? So he is never influenced by anything material. If you are actually a devotee, then these material tribulations and material influences, the three modes, are not disturbing for a devotee. We can see this case of Dhira as described by Parikshit Maharaj is so cool. Somebody is going to die, place him kusha grass, coolly, going to Ganga, take a bath and sit down. Who's going to do that? They'll be panicking, agitated, in great anxiety. First of all, your intelligence will become bewildered and you'll be overwhelmed by material emotions of death. Overwhelmed. And therefore your intelligence will be bewildered. Your intelligence will be choked. You will not know what to do. That's generally the position of a common man. But here we see Parikshit Maharaj is, making all arrangements. And Shukadeva Goswami, has gracefully come and instructing Parikshit Maharaj, coolly is hearing without being agitated. So we see, even in the case of Ambarish Maharaj, another example of a Dhira, completely unagitated. Death is right in front of him. Parikshit Maharaj had 7 days. Parikshit Maharaj had 7 days. Ambarish Maharaj had not even 7 seconds. As we all know, that Ambarish Maharaj was fasting every Ekadashi for 1 full year. And finally, at the end of 1 full year, he kept a complete fast towards the end. He was about to break his fast on Dvadashi. Just then, Durvasa Muni appears by the pre-plan of Duryodhana. Duryodhana also is a strategist. A lot of strategists are there, but Krishna is the master of all strategists. Master of all strategists. Krishna talks about this in the Bhagavad Gita. One small homework for all of you. Find out where this is. Where Krishna has told he is the master of all strategies. Where Krishna has told. And Krishna has shown it all through the Mahabharata. Not only Mahabharata, all through his Leelas. Any avatara, all through, always the Lord is using strategies. In every avatara. But in Krishna Leela it's very special because Krishna himself, the original Vishnu being present, when Vishnu has used all strategies in his appearance, Krishna, being the origin of all Vishnus, or rather, of course there is no difference between Krishna and Vishnu, but Krishna has showed a sample of all kinds of strategies and brilliance, which will overpower all strategies. Anyway, so, Ambarish Maharaj wanted to break his fast on Dvadashi. And there's a Parana time when you do Nirjala. Nirjala means even fasting without even taking a single drop of water. It's called Nirjala. Kali Yuga it may be difficult, with the exception of few of the people, but otherwise it's very difficult. So he was doing Nirjala, Upavas. Upavas means that which makes you come close to Krishna is called Upavasa. Upa means to come near, to go near. Upanayana, Upavasa, that means to come closer to Krishna or Vishnu, or to come closer to the spiritual master. Upanayana, to bring you close to the Vedas. It will automatically bring in all auspiciousness. So, he fasted and he was about to break his fast. But Durvasa Muni came just before the fast break time. And generally when Rishi comes, Muni comes, it's understood that you have to host him. It is unsaid, you don't even have to ask him. People don't ask those days. They are very cultured. They know what is hospitality. They know what is culture. You don't ask your guest, would you like to have some refreshments? You don't ask that. You straight away provide. Actually, the worst is the guest asking, can you give me something? That's the worst. And worst square is, after asking also, why did you come? So people don't understand these sensitivities. We say, Atiti Seva. Atiti Seva. And this term people are very familiar with, right? Atiti Seva. So Atiti Devo Bhava. But they don't understand this term, what it means. Simply we say, Atiti Devo Bhava. Oh, some guest has come. He is my Deva, he is my Lord. Actually. But today we think, why this man came? I didn't tell him to come on a Sunday. Why did you come? Why did you land up here? Who called you? Who told you? My wife told you? How did you land up here? That's Kali Yuga. You should know, you can know. People don't believe Kali Yuga, right? You don't have to believe. By this happening, you can know that you are in Kali Yuga. This is Kali Yuga. How do you find out? What is the proof? When this statement comes, oh, how did you land up here? I didn't call you, right? That means you're in Kali Yuga. You can know. So, Atithi. Tithi means a particular date, a point of appointment. Tithi means appointment, a muhurt, a day, a point in time. Appointment, you can say. Atithi means no date, no time, no appointment. So Atithi means it is not that I have to tell and come. Earlier people would never tell and come. They would land up. That is called Atithi. Without informing, he has come. And Shastra say Atithi Seva, not Titi Seva. We say Atithi Seva, right? Not Titi Seva. Not that I'm coming up, please make arrangement for my breakfast. No such thing. You land up any time, any part of the day, dead of night. The host should happily, with smiling face, receive you. Please come. And in case, obviously it is night time and you have finished your dinner and the cooking parts are empty, you have to cook. Get up, take bath and cook. And then feed the guest if you want to get punya for feeding the guest as a representative of the Lord. Atithi Deva doesn't mean that he is God. That's another misconception. Atithi Deva does not mean that the guest is God. It's a misconception. It's a representative. Representative. We see the Lord's representation in everyone. Not that everyone is God. It's the Lord's representation in everyone. That is the right understanding. So Atithi Deva Bhava means as the Lord's guest I receive. That is the idea. Okay. So here, so Durvasa Muni just landed up. Okay, one person, okay, fine. Atithi Seva will manage. He landed up with 60,000 men, his disciples. 60,000. He landed up. And he said, my dear Ambarish, I am your guest. I come for breaking my Dwadashi Parana. Please. So anyway, Yudhishthira Maharaj, Ambarish Maharaj understood. He said, okay, fine. But he has gone for a bath. He said, okay, I'll make arrangements by the time you can have your bath and come. He's gone for a bath, but he would not come back. The Parana time is getting lapsed. And as per Shastra, Vidhi or Ekadashi, Vidhi, when you do Nirjala, you have to break the Parana within the time. Otherwise, there is some fault or dosha in your practice of the Ekadashi Vrata. That's what Shastra says. If you do Nirjala, if you're not doing Nirjala, we don't have to worry about the Parana time. Just after sunrise, anytime you can break the fast with grains. So, so the time is lapsing, but Durvasa Muni, there is no sign of he returning. So then he consulted the Brahmanas. And then they suggested that you can take little water and break the fast. Because as per the Vedic directions, there is a verse which says that if you take water, it is as good as breaking the fast and not breaking the fast, because you're not taking grains. It is just water. So water has dual purpose. It can be taken as you have broken the fast for all practical purposes, but actually not broken the fast also, because you're not taking grains. So he, with the consultation of the Brahmanas and with his own Krishna conscious intelligence, he decided to take little water and break his fast. Wait for Durvasa Muni to come for the guest to first take prasadam, grain prasadam, and then he will partake. After the guest is satisfied nicely, then the host will take, like that. Then Durvasa Muni, by his sixth sense, he could understand, oh, Ambarish Maharaj had broken his fast without offering me the food. So he felt insulted. He landed up instantly, and then he became very angry. He said, how can you break the fast without feeding me? So you have done an insult to me. It was disgraceful. And then he became so angry, he plucked out a bunch of hair and produced a fiery demon from the bunch of hair by the power of his, Vedic mantras and tapasya. Misused or abusing his powers, abusing his Brahminical powers, Brahma Teja, abusing his Brahminical powers. So he produced the demon and instructed the demon to kill Maharaja Ambarish. But Maharaja Ambarish was very, very cool and sober, undisturbed, dhiraha. Okay, now the point what I want to make here is, the interesting point here is, he didn't run away from the spot. But the demon is right there, heading towards Ambarish to burn him all out. He is not agitated and disturbed. He didn't even move an inch. He just thought of the Supreme Lord in his mind, as he was already doing earlier also. Not because of the danger. He is naturally absorbed in Vishnu Smaranam. Savai mana Krishna padara vindayoho. It is described about Ambarish Maharaj, the Bhagavatam. His mind is always absorbed on the lotus feet of Krishna. Always. Not because of danger. Even otherwise. That's his natural state. That was his USB. But Krishna, sensing the future danger for Ambarish Maharaj, already arranged the Sudarshan Chakra in his palace. Krishna installed the Sudarshan Chakra much before only in his palace. And this Sudarshan Chakra took the charge of protecting Ambarish Maharaj and chasing the demon. And in no time Sudarshana cut off this demon's head. And Sudarshana started charging Ambarish Maharaj. And Ambarish Maharaj was on his heels. He was running pillar to post everywhere. To Devatas, to even Kailasa, even to Mahavishnu Loka, everywhere. But he could not be spared. Finally, Ambarish Maharaj, by pacifying Sudarshana spared Durvasa Muni. So what I am trying to say here is how the Lord has already made all arrangements for the devotee. In the Bhagavad Gita, in the 8th chapter, we should read this. I will just read some texts now. You can do a 2 to 3 time reading to absorb it. It's a very interesting section of the Bhagavad Gita. This chapter, 8th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita is called Attaining the Supreme. Okay? In this, the last section of this chapter talks about the passing away of a yogi in this world. It's very interesting. I want to make a certain important point in this regard. So Krishna says, Yatra kale tana vrittim avrittim chaiva yoginaha prayata yanti tam kalam vakshyami bharatarshaba. O best of the Bharata, referring to Arjuna, I shall not explain vakshyami, I shall not explain prayata yanti tam kalam, the different times at which when yatra kale tu anavrittim and avrittim cha evam yoginaha does not come back. Then Krishna gives two situations. There the next two verses. This is text 23. Krishna gave the background. And text 24 and 25, Krishna gives the actual situation. The first case Krishna takes wherein the yogi who does not return to this world. That is the case. Agnir Jyoti aha shukla shanmasa uttarayanam tatra prayata gachanti brahma brahma vidojanaha. There are 5 clauses in this verse. And all the clauses have to be fulfilled. It is not and or clause. It is an and clause. It is not and or clause. It is an and clause. And. All the 5 clauses have to be fulfilled. Agnihi. Those who know the Supreme Brahman pass away from the world during the Agnihi, influence of the fiery god. Jyotihi, in the light. Ahaha, during the daytime. Shuklaha, during the fortnight of the moon. Shukla Paksha, waxing moon. Shanmasa, Uttarayanam, when the sun is moving towards the northern hemisphere. 6 months when the sun travels in the north. So, those who know the Supreme Brahman pass away from the world during the influence of the fiery god, number 1. In the light, number 2. At an auspicious moment, number 3. That is actually the daytime, not night. Then, during the fortnight of the moon, Shukla Paksha, and Uttarayana, 6 months when the sun travels to the north. So, the 5 conditions fulfilled, then you have a good destination. You don't have to return back to this world of repeated birth and death. The next verse Krishna says, Dhumo ratris tatha Krishna shanmasa dakshinayanam tatra chandramasam jyotir yogi praptya nivartate. 4 conditions. But here it is or clause, not and clause. Any one condition, you are finished. You will return back to this world. 4 clauses. What is that? Dhumaha. The mystic is concerning a yogi anyway. One who is practicing yoga. One who is not practicing yoga, who is a yogi, not a yogi. Then is a confirmed return. Just like it's a confirmed ticket we ask, right? Confirmed ticket whether you got to get your visa to US, right? Like that. Confirmed ticket back to this world. So what is that? The mystic. So that is for common people. But even for a yogi, when he passes away in these 4 conditions, he has to return back to this world. What is that? The mystic who passes away from this world during smoke, dhumaha. Then ratrihi, when he dies night. In the night time when somebody leaves this body, night time. Then Krishnaha, during Krishna Paksha. In 6 months when the sun is passing towards the south. Now we are in Uttarayana. So Dakshinayana time. Shanmasa Dakshinayanam. So when you pass during the smoke, night time, and Krishna Paksha, moonless fortnight, and 6 months when the sun is passing towards the south, Dakshinayana. Then yogi prapya nivartate. Nivartate. He returns back to this world. Now is an important point. I'll skip one verse. Text 27 I will go. Krishna says, this is an important point to note. Naite sriti partha janan yogi muhyati kaschana. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu yogo yukto bhavarjuna. Krishna is assuring Arjuna, the devotees. Prabhupada translates it as yoga yukta as the devotees. One who is engaged in Krishna consciousness, yoga yukta, that means a devotee. That means bhakti yogi. So the devotees, because they are engaged in Krishna consciousness, na ete sriti partha janan yogi muhyati kaschana. The devotees who know these two paths, O Arjuna, are never bewildered. Na muhyati kaschana. There is no reason for bewilderment for a devotee, even though he knows these two parts of passing away from this world. He is not bewildered. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu yoga yuktaha. In all circumstances, he is simply fixed in devotion upon the lotus feet of Krishna. And thereby, he is not bewildered. Even though there are two kinds of destinations, the devotee is not bewildered. Prabhupada says in the purport, one striking point, the last sentence of this purport, Prabhupada says, the devotee is not disturbed by these descriptions. Oh, there's Uttarayana, Dakshina, let me adjust morning time. How can you adjust your muhurta? Marriage you can fix. That is also not fixed by you, arranged by the Lord. Anyway, still, some Purohit is there, he will arrange. But death, where do you have muhurta? Are you going to select? Selection? There is no selection. For a common man, there is no selection. Common man, there is no selection. Bhishma, he is the best of the yogis. Therefore, he had the privilege. He had the privilege to choose. Not every yogi can choose. No. Every yogi can't choose. You have to be a perfected yogi. Who is a perfected yogi? Devotee of the Lord. That is described in the Bhagavad Gita. One more small exercise for all of you. Who is the perfect yogi? Where it is described in Bhagavad Gita? And what is the proof? Which Krishna provides. Yes. In the 6th chapter, last verse, Krishna provides this. The pramana is Krishna himself. Krishna's own words. Yoginam api sarvesham. So the devotee is the best yogi. Best of the yogis. So, Prabhupada says, the devotee is not disturbed by these descriptions of passing away from this world, because he knows that his passage to the supreme abode is guaranteed by devotional service. Already guaranteed. Just like for a common man or even a yogi, as I said, unless he is a perfected yogi means a devotee. Even for a yogi, forget common man, confirmed return ticket to this world. Similarly, for a bhakta of the Lord, confirmed Goloka ticket by Krishna's arrangement. So, there is one. See, when we speak, the procedure in Vedic circle is, whatever you speak, you have to back up with a pramana. You have to prove your case. That's how in the Vedic circle things were discussed. Not that capriciously or whimsically you deliver something off your head. That's not accepted, not allowed. He'll be banned, debarred from discussions and debates. That was the standard. He'll be debarred from any debate and discussion. But today you can see everybody off their head speak something without any pramana. So, anyway, so we are providing pramana from the Bhagavad Gita, direct verses. There are many references. I just took one reference here. Then, the favorable conditions, we, especially Hindus at least, we're very conscious of the direction of the door, direction of the house, what pot is there, which house is there in front of me, who is the person who is staying. All these things matter, Nothing is wrong. Actually, we do agree all of those things. But how much can you arrange? How much can you arrange? Date, time, place, situation, people around you. How much can you arrange? Very difficult. Anyway, even if you arrange, so much struggle. But for the devotee of the Lord, Krishna will make all suitable arrangements for the passing away of the devotee. Krishna will make all arrangements. You don't have to worry. So, the last verse of the very chapter which I took up, so most powerful verse in the Bhagavad Gita, ultimate verse in the Bhagavad Gita, especially for Hindus. For devotees it is Sarvadharma Parityajya, but for Hindus it is not Sarvadharma Parityajya because they have not developed that kind of faith. For the common man and the Hindus, pious Hindus, even impious people, this is the most relevant verse for them. Memorize this, 8th chapter, last verse, text 28. Today I am inaugurating this secret. Krishna has inaugurated, we are revealing this secret. Krishna has revealed it, but it doesn't strike us. So Prabhupada has stressed it here. Vedeshu yagneshu tapashu chaiva dhaneshu yat punya phalam pradishtam atyeti tat sarvamidam viditva yogi param sthanam upayati chadyam. Krishna has emphatically declared here in this verse. 101% or 200% we say, no? So we say, are you sure? Prabhu, 200% sure, Prabhu. So Krishna is speaking with that kind of assurance here. What is that? A person who accepts the path of devotional service. One who is doing seva to Krishna, engaged in bhakti to Krishna by chanting, reading, hearing Bhagavatam, taking Bhagavad Prasad, darshan of Radha Krishna Chandra, is not bereft of the results derived from studying the Vedas, Vedeshu, Yagneshu, performing austere sacrifices. India people are very, at least pious people, they are too attached to lot of homas and havanas, yagnas, too much. So it's called people think, ನಿಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಹೋಮ ಮಾಡೋದಿಲ್ವಾ? మీ దేవస్థానంలో హోమాలని ఏం చేసేది లేదా ఇక్కడ? உங்க கோவிலில் ஹோமம்லாம் பண்றது இல்லையா? You people don't do homa, is it? Who said? Sankirtana yajna is the best homa, best yajna. It's declared in Bhagavatam. Pramana is there. Yes. This Bhagavatam is declaring. Vyasadeva is telling. He is a subject matter expert and the head of the department of the Vedas. He is telling. The best yajna is Sankirtana yajna. Hare Krishna yajna. Anyway, Krishna is saying, ಅದು ಹೌದು ಪ್ರಭು, ಆದರೆ ಆ ಒಂದು ಮೃತ್ಯುಂಜಯ ಹೋಮ ಒಂದು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ನೋಡಿ ನಾವು. ಆ ಒಂದು ಕುಕ್ಕೆ ಸುಬ್ರಹ್ಮಣ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಸರ್ಪದೋಷದ ಒಂದು ಹೋಮ ಇದೆ, ಅದು ಮಾಡ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಮಗಳು ಮದುವೆ ಆಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ನೋಡಿ. ಸೊ ಅದು ನಮ್ಮ ಜ್ಯೋತಿಷ್ ಹೀಗೆ ತಾನೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು, ಅಷ್ಟಮಂಗಳ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಹಾಕಿದ್ರು ಪ್ರಭು, ಎಲ್ಲ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದೆ. Sometimes they say like that, right? No, we don't deny all of these things. All of these are true. All of these are true. Keeping all of that in mind, Krishna is saying here, Vedeshu, you are not bereft. Bereft means you are not going to lose. Bereft of the results derived from studying the Vedas. ನಿಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಚಾಂದೋಗ್ಯ ಉಪನಿಷತ್ ಸಿಕ್ಕುತ್ತಾ? ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡ್ತೀರಾ? ಎಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ ಬನ್ನಿ. ಭಗವದ್ ಗೀತಾ ಇಸ್ ಗೀತೋಪನಿಷದ್, ಚಾಂದೋಗ್ಯ ಉಪನಿಷದ್ ಅಲ್ಲ. ನೀವು ಕೇಳಿದ ಒಂದು ಉಪನಿಷದ್, ನಾವು 108 ಉಪನಿಷತ್ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ ಬನ್ನಿ. Bhagavad Gita is the sar of all the 100 Upanishads. ಭಗವದ್ಗೀತಾ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ತೊಂದರೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. Chant Hare Krishna with the essence of all the 100 Upanishads. Yes? Prabhupada was asked, why 108 beats? Prabhupada was asked, why 100 beats? Why not 109? Why not 107? Why not 24? No, 108, because there are 108 Upanishads. And by chanting 108 times on the beads, you are surpassing all the 100 Upanishads or the Vedic studies. You know, Prabhupada said, so devotees should not think, I don't Veda Guttilla, I don't know Vedas, I have not studied Vedas. No, you surpassed. First class with distinction. Earlier in my childhood days, school days, we used to say, first class was there, distinction was there. There is a first class with distinction. Means, oh my God. First class with distinction. That person is first class with distinction. So somebody is chanting Hare Krishna, they're actually first class with distinction on the Upanishads. You have a certificate. What is the certificate? Your Japamala is the certificate. You have to carry that certificate with you. To carry the mala with you. You can show the certificate to all. Huh? Seriously. Okay. So he is not bereft of the results derived from studying Vedas, number one. Performing all austere sacrifices, yagnas, yagneshu, tapassu. Then performing all kinds of austerities. That also you will get benefit of that. Then daneshu, giving all charity. And yat punya phalam pradishtam, or pursuing philosophical and fruitive activities. All kinds of punya karmas. Vratas, mauna vrata, urul seve, this, that, all kinds of things, Even ISKCON people don't follow that many vratas what people practice outside. To be very frank. But we are getting the benefit of all of that, Krishna is saying, at one shot. Further to that, which others are not getting. Yogi param sthanam upaiti chadyam. Over and above that, the devotee of the Lord will be going to Goloka also at the end. Without performing any of these things, just by chanting Hare Krishna and serving Krishna. Radha Krishna Chandra. We're going back to Godhead. One pastime I will tell and close. Actually, I had two, but we'll tell one. Because there should be some surprise element always in your minds. So that there is craving. So out of the two stories, I cut down one story. There's only one story I'm going to share now. Powerful story. This is the case. I'm now presenting a case of this verse. A lawyer presents a clause, right? Then he has to present a case. Then his case becomes very strong, right? So we've discussed the theory now from the 8th chapter of the Gita. Now let's present a case, practical case. So, there was one devotee. I think his name was... because I said Krishna arranges, right? We don't have to make arrangement. Yogi has to make his arrangement, And clause. He has to make his arrangement. But the devotee does not have to make any arrangements. That is Krishna's botheration. For the devotee is only chanting, dancing, Krishna Prasadam. Chant, dance, have Krishna Prasadam. That's all. That is his only business. And Krishna has to take all the botheration and anxiety for liberating the devotee. That's Krishna's problem. Not my problem. My problem is taking Khichdi Prasadam, that's all. Whether it is over or not. Whether I am the last or the first. That's all. That's my only problem. So you don't worry. Just have Khichdi Prasadam, nice Prasadam. Chant, enjoy Kirtana, that's all. There was one devotee by name Prita Putra. He is a French devotee. Not even an Indian. Forget being a yogi. Forget being a yogi. It's a French national. So this devotee, he took initiation from Srila Prabhupada in the 1970s and became a full-fledged, seasoned ISKCON devotee. Practicing all the rules, regulations, everything. And he did French Revolution. All the preaching in France, he did all that revolution by the blessings and empowerment of Prabhupada, this devotee. Okay? So much preaching he did. Made so many devotees in France. But when after Prabhupada left the world to Krishna in 1977, some of these devotees gave up Krishna consciousness temporarily, stopped chanting everything, somehow. Stopped all his practices, chanting, reading, prasadam, everything. But he was a stalwart devotee. Anyway, many decades passed. Just few years back, we just got to hear from another devotee that this devotee, he became terminally ill. He was hospitalized. And he went into coma also. Very sad. Rarely it happens for a devotee, but everything happens for a good. The more devotee is in problem, devotee is not a problem, Krishna is in problem, because Krishna has to sort out, not devotee. So we don't have problem. If I am put in more problem, it's not my problem. Krishna's anxiety will increase, because Krishna has to figure out and he has to take more headache to sort out the problem. Devotee doesn't have to worry. So this devotee went into coma. Then doctors were discussing how to treat this case. And he also got cancer, unfortunately. Imagine how it is piling up, coma, added to the cancer. In the past past 3-4 months before he left this body, he was tested for cancer, then he went to coma. So the doctors were discussing, so what to do with the case? It's becoming a little serious. They were just discussing next to his bed, last moments. If not few hours, it was few days he was counting. The doctors were discussing. In another 1, 2, 3 days, he's out. When this discussion is going on, something happened. This devotee who is in coma suddenly got up on the bed. Prabhupada, you have come. And he closed his eyes. So Prabhupada actually came to take this devotee. The doctor was shocked. They are discussing, who is this Prabhupada? First of all, it's a name, because it's a Sanskrit name, right? They are just scratching their head. What is Prabhupada? Who is Prabhupada? Then later on, these doctors told the devotees that this person, because they don't know that he's a farmer ISKCON devotee, but he left Krishna consciousness, total Maya. Yet still, because of his past devotional service, Prabhupada personally came, arranged for his ticket to Goloka. So, somehow or other, we have to stick on to Krishna consciousness and be with Prabhupada. Somehow or other. We say don't quit Krishna consciousness. I add, don't quit Prabhupada. 2 things. Finished. Your ticket to Goloka is guaranteed. So therefore, all the favorable condition which Parikshit Maharaj had, even if we can't arrange, we're not expert like Bhishma to make that arrangement. Bhishma chose his time. But we can't do all such things. Does not matter. You don't lament or worry or feel sorry. Navala ashtu doddu bhakturu illa Prabhu. Navala sanna bhakturu. You don't worry. Prabhupada and Krishna will make all favorable suitable arrangements for the passing of your soul to Goloka Vrindavan. Grantarat Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Shri Prabhupada ki jai.